All right, how is everybody? I wanted to do a 1 year review. I've actually had this Hustler Raptor 42-inch residential zero turn for 13 months. And, I've had a loan service. I'm in my second season now. I've done one video you might have seen on changing the oil the first time in this mower. But I thought it might be helpful. I've seen a lot of reviews on it. I was just going to kind of share my 1 year experience in owning this mower and just kind of tell you some of the things that have happened that were good and bad with me owning this mower for the last year. I bought it in June of 2017. I'm in my second year of having my own lawn service as a side business. You're going to have to forgive my garage. It's messy. You see the weed eater next to it, edger on the other side, but I just figured I'd make the video in the garage here where I've got it stored. The deck, of course, is what everybody likes about these Hustlers. When you're getting something that's considered a residential grade mower, this deck is better than pretty much any stamp deck or any mower that carries a stamp deck of the same classification, I guess you'd call it, a small residential. It beats all of those out. That's one of my favorite things about this. I would say it's close to being industrial type or commercial type, if you want to call it that, when it comes to the deck. It's welded. You could almost stand on it if you wanted to, though I don't recommend doing that. And it's tough. It has not bent. I have mowed rough terrain with it. And I have mowed properties that have big long ditches, and just here recently I mowed 3 acres, a 3-acre pasture for somebody that really should have been done by something of a heavier grade mower than this, but as of yet I don't have one. This is what I use. My favorite thing about the size, the 42-inch size, is that I can fit this in most backyard gates on any residential properties I have. Just about every one of them I can use this. I can get this in their backyard, other than a couple of properties that just prefer me to use a push mower that are small, and I'm willing to do that. So I love that about the mower. I've never had a mower with a Kawasaki. This is my only zero turn I've had so far, but the Kohler 7022 horse I found to be a very good motor. It has not once given me any trouble, and I've had this thing for 13 months now. The engine guard I put on, it did not come with this engine guard on it whenever I bought it. I spent $100. I watched a video, Supreme Services recommended buying these, and I bought one online, and when I got it I put it on myself. Pretty simple to do. I've had a couple of flat tires, and you're looking at the tire that it's happened to both times, but that's, nothing out of the ordinary that can happen anytime you're using something, whether it's a mower or anything with tires on it. Just last week I got a bolt somehow, like a sharp screw stuck in the tire that gave me a flat, probably off that 3-acre property. The grass that I cut on that 3-acre property last week was very high. It had Johnson grass in it. It was really too big of a job to do with this mower. But to be honest with you, the mower, though it took me 5 hours just about to do it because of the condition and how large it was, the mower really did well. We got the whole thing done, no problems. I had to, of course, go back over some spots because the grass was high, and that Johnson grass is pretty tough on a blade. But when I was done, it looked really well, and I was happy with it. And I'm going to do the property again with this soon. It just won't be as high as it was. The owners had letting it get away from them. A couple of the problems I've had, and there has been a couple of problems with this mower that sort of disappointed me. First of all, a minor one was the belt came off back in March when I first started mowing this season. The belt ended up coming off. I got it put back on, and then it broke. not a big deal. I had to take it up to the power equipment place, buy another belt. They put it on for me, and I was pretty much back in business after that. But I then had I had a problem with, while I was doing one property, I had a problem. Suddenly I couldn't steer, I couldn't turn. I didn't know exactly what was wrong, but it would not allow me to turn except for to the right. As it turned out, one of the transmissions, or one of the hydro transmissions had gone out, which surprised me for a mower that was only a year old at the time. I was pretty disappointed in that. I didn't expect that with the Hustler, but I will say that Hustler honored their commitment, and they sent a brand new one and had the shop put it on there for me free of charge. So it did not cost me a thing. Hustler replaced it under warranty, and I'd had the mower for a year so far. Soon after I got it back, I thought the same thing happened, but it wasn't. I had trouble steering again one day, and if you see, I don't know if you can, sorry about the shakiness. Right here, this little clamp had come off. It's some sort of little clamp. And when it did, it caused me problems again with steering. I brought it up there to them, left it with them. At that point, I was thinking it was the transmission that had gone out again, the way it was steering, and I was upset with them because I hadn't had it back long. They put two brand new ones on both sides. I haven't had any more issues since. So that was taken care of also free of charge. It was more or less just the aggravation of having something go wrong. Overall, I'm really happy with the mower. I do this on the side. I'm a full-time law enforcement officer, have been for 25 years. For whatever reason, decided a couple of years ago I was going to start a lawn service. I've done it and I've enjoyed it. This mower's made me a lot of money, and I'm not done with it yet. As long as everything keeps running and holding together. I put it through quite a bit. I try to take good care of it, do the oil changes, keep the air filters changed and cleaned, change the blades on it periodically. Everything we're supposed to do on our own to make sure that we take care of it. But I do work it, no doubt about it. I put it through probably more than it's designed to be put through. For the money, when I bought it, it was $25.99. Last year they had a sale going. That's when I bought it, plus tax. So I got it for well under $3,000, and I've certainly made that money back using it. Would I recommend it? Yes, I'll recommend a Hustler. My plan is probably to get a larger mower here soon for some of these bigger properties that I have acquired, and then I'm going to keep this one for the residentials as long as it's operating the way it's supposed to operate. So the problems I did have, really there was only one major problem. That was taken care of through a warranty by Hustler. They honored it. I wrote them an email. I was upset at the time, but I got to say they took care of me. I was just out the waiting period, waiting on my mower, not able to use it, but they got it done pretty quick. So if you're in the market or you're starting out and you're not wanting to make a huge purchase at the beginning, I certainly recommend getting a Hustler Raptor 42-inch for residentials, and it'll do, well, I've already done up to a 3-acre property. I think it'll do more, although I don't recommend putting it through that constantly, but it certainly has the capability. Anyway, hope this helps somebody out. Thanks for watching.